the ZENfra webinar series today for Empower Your Defense, Strengthening Your Cybersecurity Readiness. I am Skip Tamke. I'm the Director of Solutions Delivery here, and I would like to introduce your host for today, Vipin Nair. He is a 25-year veteran of the data processing industry, having done significant stints at Dell EMC and VMware. I would like to thank you all for joining once again, and Vipin, away to you.
Thank you, Skip. Thanks so much for that wonderful introduction. Thanks everyone for joining today. So welcome all for this live webinar today. We'll be discussing about empowering you to kind of come up with your defense model and strengthening your cybersecurity readiness. And we have something great to introduce today as part of this webinar series is ZENfra, a tool for cybersecurity readiness, right? So through this webinar, we'll also talk a little bit about some of these product suite, what we have. So keep your curiosity level high, what we are going to share today about CCBI, which is our cyber intelligence solution. And then we have ZRAX, which is our risk access control system. And then we also have ZRES, which is cyber resiliency and recovery solution from ZENfra, right? And if you've seen that, there's a touch of artificial intelligence and machine learning to it. So as you see on the picture on the screen. Now, just to set the context, right? Cybersecurity strengthens US manufacturers. I just picked up something from NIST. If you see here, typically what we are looking at cybersecurity point is, kind of protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability, right? The CIA triad of cybersecurity. Those who are from cybersecurity, of course, knows this. Really kind of helps you how you can improve recovery times after disruptions, right? That's from a resiliency perspective. And, how you can avoid potential losses, right? Or how you can protect your valuable data. Data is your asset, right? So all that revolves around the data, what we have. And, how, privacy part of it, be it employee or a customer. And, all in all, how do we kind of reduce the risk, or mitigate the risk from all these attempts, right? So 5 steps, if you think of, to reduce the cyber risk is about identifying it, protecting it, detecting it timely, responding to it, and when such things happens, right, recovers to a normal operations, right? And if you see that from some of the numbers, if you see on the screen, right, 55% of small and medium-sized business have experienced a data breach or cyber attack. That's 55% what we are talking about, right? Severe impact, about 60% of that impacted business are severe, right? And then average cost, if you see, about 38,000 is average cost for a small business to overcome from data breach. Now, how do we go about it? So if you see that on the screen, I put some questions in front of you, right? Have you ever wondered, I'll read out it for you for your convenience. Have you ever wondered how organizations gather intelligence to stay ahead of cyber threats, right? What role does cyber intelligence play in proactively in identifying and mitigating cybersecurity risk? And these are the questions, food for thought, right? How can implementing a risk access control system help your organization to achieve a balance between security and productivity? Good question to think, right? And how does cyber resiliency differ from traditional cybersecurity approaches? A lot of people have got confusions about, cybersecurity versus cyber resiliency or recovery, right? Why it is becoming increasingly important and popular, right? And, practical strategies in terms of enhancing your organization's cyber resiliency and, kind of bounce back. That's your true resiliency, stronger from the cyber incident. So there's no 100% solutions for everything, right? There could be ways attackers will find, get into the system, right? So it's important for us to think about how do I bounce back stronger from any of these attacks, right? So that's from a context setting exercise I want to run with you to give you some thought process while we navigating through this webinar today. Now, I picked up one of the interesting slides from Cyber Rights, and credits to them. This is something I found it probably valuable for you to see today. Some of the top 8 cyber attacks in 2024, right? Could be phishing attack. That's nice infographics if you see on the screen, and how it really goes through, right? I really need not to go through, what is a phishing attack, which is self-explanatory looking at the screen here. And then we hear a lot about ransomware, right? User data is being locked, and then they're kind of asking some amount of money to get that retrieved, right? Denial of service, right? Kind of engaging with excessive load in your machine or network, and then it end up in not working, right? Man in the middle, right? A kind of hacker in coming in between and kind of intercepting and manipulating the communication between two of the parties communicate. It could be user to web app or something, right? SQL injection, right? Cross-site scripting, zero-day exploit, DNS spoofing. These are the various forms what you see from a cyber attack perspective. And if you flip to the left side of the screen, this is an interesting number. I found it from latest Gartner report, right? Which is by 2027, 75% of the employees will acquire or modify, create technology outside of IT visibility, which is 41% up from 2022. That means every employee in the organization is kind of acquiring or creating technology outside of IT realms visibility. That's a potential threat, because the earlier days we used to have IT kind of telling you what kind of tools and what kind of products is supported. But because we have been spoiled with many applications in our mobile phones, in our computer systems, that's where Gartner predicts 75% of the employees will do this, right? And that comes an importance for you to look at it if you're not started thinking seriously about cybersecurity factor of it, right? And we want to share some of the best practices here. You've seen a nice green-blue logo here. That's our solution to all these problems what you have. We call it ZENfra, right? Which is nothing but a data platform which gather all the information what you have in infrastructure, your user, your all kind of data sources what you can think of from an IT landscape. It kind of streamline all of that information for you, kind of cleanse it, make it ready, and then kind of gives you packages out of it, wherein you can have a good defensive system and good insightful information for you to achieve your cyber security aspect of it. I see a poll on the screen now. I'll give probably like 20 seconds for you to look through the poll what you see on the screen, and we'll take it up from there. All right. Now, moving on. I did mention about ZENfra is something which I really want to keep top of your mind while we are navigating through the entire webinar today. So this is a quick snippet of what you can get it out of it. See, vulnerabilities within the organization where patches are available. It gives you insightful information where your vector is when it comes to your cyber attacks, right? So you can take proactive measures to make sure that you are having a good defensive system, right? So you can work with the stakeholders with these kind of insightful information from all the layers of your organization, your business group, your functional group, your leadership, to make sure that you make a strategy around how you can go about securing your environment from such kind of an attack. Now, another interesting information, right? I'm sure you would see a lot of value with this. This is the latest of the information what I found it from Gartner, top 9 trends in cybersecurity, right? It's in the order of importance to see that. Continuous threat exposure management, your CTEM, right? Because organizations' attack surfaces have expanded, right? Enormously in recent years, this comes very important factor for you to consider in 2024 and beyond. Threat exposure management system, right? And if you look at the second one, extending IAM cybersecurity value, identity and access management has really been popular, right? It's increasingly impactful, if you look at from a 2024 landscape. Third-party cybersecurity risk management, right? So this is pressurizing a lot of site reliability, management team or leaders to focus on more on the resilience part of it, because you cannot really stop even if you have the best of the defense systems, but how resilient are is an important factor so that you can get your business back to normal, right? Privacy, data-driven driven application and data decoupling, right? Privacy, localizing the data, right? Having single tenant or a multi-tenant sort of an applications, right? It just gives you that security when it comes to protecting your data and information can come back to normal, right? Generative AI, we hear a lot these days about generative AI, right? Because a lot of factors comes in, user behaviors, user patterns, the way they are embracing these latest of the technologies, right? And that coupled with what you see on the 6-point security behavior and culture programs. And then, how you look at from a cybersecurity outcome-driven metrics, right? Because you may have different cybersecurity initiatives, but what is that real outcome you are kind of looking? What is your goal? What's your posture when it comes to cybersecurity initiative? What you have? That's an important factor, right? Operating models, what you generate within that. And one of the most important thing is about even if you have the best of the defense systems, but if you're not creating the awareness and intelligence within the people for the importance of cybersecurity aspect, that's another trend what we see in 2024. Again, I'm bringing up another screenshot for you to feel it and experience it. What is that ZENfra gives you a point of view that it can help you to gives you, as I said in the beginning of the conversation, it's more of a data platform. It gathers all the information, so it's more customizable, more user friendly to take those decisions, right? So I'll walk you through some of the aspects of it later, but I have something really interesting to announce today as well to the end of this slide, how you can take the benefit, because one is about the learning factor of these sort of webinars and series. Another factor is how do I take those learnings and how do I put that in practice? How do I implement this in the environment what I am today? So I can create, if you're a user, how you can create a unique value proposition of you as a consumer or of this product by giving value to the organization. If you're a partner, I see different kinds of participants in this meeting today. If you're a partner, right? If you're giving a solution, so probably ZENfra would be an ultimate solution for you to give that kind of a value addition for your customer. You can white label it, you can create it as if it's your own tool, and you can serve your customers, right? If you're looking for somebody from Resource as a service for helping you to get into this, we have that offer as well when it comes to one of our senior consultant coming in and setting this up for you so that you can create your own dashboards, your reports periodically in a manner that you can make sure that your environment is safe and secure, right? So, Fred, do we have another poll coming in, or should we continue?
Yes, another poll is coming in.
Okay. Shall I wait or shall I proceed now? Okay, there it is. That's an interesting question on your screen. And I'm going to walk you through some of the aspect, how you can use this product and how you can bring that usability in your day-to-day perspective. So that's a question in front of you. After this webinar, how likely are you to explore ZENfra solutions for your organization's cybersecurity needs? All right, so let's keep moving. Some of the questions you may have in your mind, top questions I can say from a cybersecurity initiative perspective. How will this support business resilience and growth goal while reducing the risk? That's an important question, right? You need to have those posture when it comes to cybersecurity resilience without reducing the risk and your growth potential of the organization. Because too much of security can also kind of create problems, right? How do you balance it? Now, how do you come up with, I mentioned in the previous slide, that outcome-driven approach to establish cybersecurity priorities and investments? And what kind of leaders or who are the people needs to be involved in your organization? So what are the different, so this is a busy slide for sure, but it's important from a webinar context so that you get maximum information out of this time what you spend with us today, right? So we need to look at what are the different kinds of stages when it comes to come up with the strategy for you, right? And some of the best practices, who customers or the clients who have successfully implemented cybersecurity initiative, right? And this is a sequence of steps with a desired outcome and useful for aligning with all the stakeholders what you have in your organization. You can take this structure from your CIO, CISO, IT director, security manager. You can work with all of them, and if you are one among them, you can use this philosophy and structure to start with your cybersecurity initiative, right? Have a really well-defined strategy. When I say strategy, so many of the organizations, though they know that there are a lot of applications-based business priorities, but they really don't jot down, what are those business priorities are, right? What are those mission statements, program vision, or what vision you have, right? Identify the business areas or technology that drives, those business goals, right? What are the threat, which is probably can be a possible problem for you, right? In terms of executing your cybersecurity initiative, right? So have a goal, have some business value, program value, identify your key stakeholders, roles and responsibilities, and then moving on to developing an action plan, right? Which is creating a risk prioritization framework. How do you do it? Conduct vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Do you have a solution from us? Yes, that's what you see on the screen, ZENfra, right? And then if you really want to kind of creating a maturity baseline, defining a target state, what you have, and if you want to use some gap analysis, ZENfra as a data platform gives you all that flexibility for you to conduct that, right? And then, using those insights, what you have from this product, now you kind of go after with your executive and board of directors to get a buy-in, and then get all the support what you need, right? With that, you can definitely define your security architecture, policy, framework, and your solution. Now, when it comes to execution of that piece, right? So what we have come up with, identifying your business priorities, you have kind of risk prioritization framework you arrived at, then you come into execution phase, right? So integrating those capabilities, tools, and technologies, security teams, roles and responsibilities, critical competencies, and train the desired missing skills. If there is any skills which is missing for you to kind of, bring it in the organization, what are those, right? And then, kind of building that mature program, and then finally, reassessing it and optimizing as a continuous improvement when it comes to your cybersecurity initiative. Now, I've given a list of people needs to be involved. I will definitely share at the end of this webinar. You can go through this, who are the people needs to be involved and what level of involvement needed from these people, right? Now, before I move on, Skip, if you want to add anything until now what we discussed, if you have any thoughts or suggestions.
No overall thoughts and suggestions, but I think you've given us some great things to think about moving forward, and I'm looking forward to sharing how we can address these challenges.
Awesome, great, thank you. So now, all these while I was talking about, our solution, ZENfra, right? So how do we see it? So I just want to give you a kind of an architectural information for you to look at it, right? So if you see in the center portion of this diagram, right, these are all your data sources, your on-premises, your cloud solutions, your CMDB, your CSV files, a lot of your processes, your user informations, you name it, you get all of that through our discovery assessment process, right? And then what we have come up with, 6 product suites. We call ZRAG, ZOps, observability, FinOps for your multi-cloud economics, your CCBI ZENfra intelligence, and if at all, if you want to take some migration decision based on it, right? And from those, all of that, what is consumable. So if you are looking from ZENfra as a product stack, what you have, and then you have these product suites there, you can create packages out of it, which I was talking about, the white labeling part of it. So if you come up with a policy-driven, rule-driven with the AI intelligent capability, you can create packages out of it. That package becomes your product for your end customer. For your, say, for example, if you want to use as an individual contributor within the organization, you get Success 360 as a package out of ZENfra solution. You make a difference within the organization with the value proposition what you have, because you have all this information available from the data center. You can pull in all of that, create customized dashboards, and help the organization to achieve that, right? That's how you kind of give that value proposition within the organization. Can ZENfra address all of these requirements? Be it an OEM, be it a partner, be it a channel, be it an end user? Yes, the answer is yes to all of them. Yeah. So data platform, what you see over there, which is all about your data sources. Then you have all those product suites, which has got different capabilities within that, and more customizable, user-friendly model, which is through ZenPacks, right? And let's go back and learn a little bit more about the elements of cybersecurity, right? So if you look at information security aspect of it, the processes and methods of information security from all forms of cybercrime, right? That's in general information security, what we can think about. Your application level security, right? This is increasing security within the application, be it your encryption, your input validation, your authorization, your session management within your applications, right? These are most common threats to software applications if you don't really do well in these areas. Operational security is another aspect. So these are the 5 elements which I can think of from a cybersecurity perspective. And then your network security and your cloud security, right? All these names are self-explanatory for that matter. So these are the 5 elements you can think of from your cybersecurity perspective. Now, these are the very basic, right? But then many people don't really pay attention to it. So how you protect your digital world, right? You need to have a very good password management system. There could be softwares which you might have not patched, which is having vulnerabilities associated with it. What is your privacy setting, right? Are you having really good data backups to prevent any such attacks, or not prevent, basically recover from the attacks what you have? What is your device level security, right? Your authentication authorization processes, right? And how well you are equipped with your internet safety, because how much of those application servers which really need to have an internet access, or maybe from a user perspective, emails have been spam controls, or your links, what people kind of click on it and then get into kind of a website where all the information can be stick, right? So those kind of things from an awareness point of view is very important for protecting your digital world. Now, one of the important factor I told you about, if you think at a very bottom level of cybersecurity, where it all starts from, right? It starts from data. So every organization, what they have, if you ask me, what is a true asset of the organization? It's their data, be it banking, be it hospital, healthcare, right? Be it federal, be it in armies and the militaries and all sort of, the data is the crucial part. So protecting data is very important, right? So a couple of things, how do you protect it, right? Regularly update your software and systems. So you cannot be lazy there. Okay, I will probably do as per my convenience to update all my system. You should have a plan. You have a strategy. What are the frequency you're looking at it? How optimal you are when it comes to latest of the patches, which is important for your organization. And encryption strategies. How you are protecting your sensitive data, both in transit and rest, right? Just not about transit alone, but if you have a data sitting there in your data center on various storage arrays, what are your encryption deduplication systems, what you have, so that you can protect your data effectively, right? Rather than protecting all sort of data, what is your storage encryption deduplication strategy around it? And very important thing about, ZENfra will help you with that, right? How do you kind of arrive at a least privilege principle, right? Limited access to, so you can achieve a lot of insights from your Office 365, your Microsoft LDAP solutions or maybe on Entra solutions. So Active Directory. So you can really pull those data into ZENfra and then arrive at least privilege principle policies within that, right? And with all the insights what you have, you can train your employees very well about importance of it, right? An authentication method I already said about from an IAM perspective, identity and access management, how you do multi-factor authentication. So what are the identity systems what you embrace, right? So that's an important aspect as well. So these are the things ZENfra can help you with the data platform what we have to kind of get the value out of it. Now, this is probably my second last slide. I'm happy to have conversation because I really don't want to go after with presentations after presentations or slides after slides, but we want to really make sure that you get an opportunity to have a conversation with us to see what sort of areas where you're looking at it from a cybersecurity perspective, what sort of help you needed from us, right? So we can really help you with it. And of course, as I said, something really I want to say at the end of this as a slide for you, how you can take it. So that's one of the package which readily available for you to consume it and then use it in your real life, in your day-to-day job, right? Secure your data encryption replication, right? So I talked about encryption earlier. Replication is also a very important factor. So if you look at encryption is nothing but transforming your data into unreadable format accessible only with the right key, right? Replication is nothing but creating identical copies of the data in different locations or systems, ensuring that redundancy and availability. So if you think it high level, one is about protection. And if anything goes wrong, for heaven's sake, with the true replication strategies, what you have in your environment, you can come back to normal state. Your recovery point in time or recovery time objective, as per the SLAs, what you define with the organization can achieve, right? So these are the two powerful tools, if I may say that, encryption replication, right? And then, sometimes I feel that people think confused about I have a local replica in my system, so I'm all safe and secure. But it could be you see in the world availability zones, your local regions versus your remote sites. So depends on how critical your organization applications are. Your backup strategy should be that strong enough to have really good vault where you are keeping the data only maybe one-sided data is flowing there. When there is a situation where you need to recover, you are kind of using those backup vault what you have in terms of getting your business back to normal. Yeah. So now cybersecurity in the workplace, it's all about starts with the review, right? Basically an assessment. Review your current security level, identify your risk, detect the issues what you have, look out for potential problems that may arise, right? And then look at your protection strategies, right? Install malware prevention softwares or defensive software to keep your sensitive data safe. Then comes, once you have done the protection, of course, you need to keep monitoring it. Am I doing everything right to make sure that, I have everything protected, safe, right? And then creating that awareness within the organizations, as I said before, right? Proper training and other things. And, I'm sorry, this probably would be the last slide before I was a little confused there, my bad. So some of the best practices, if we can think of, right? We really want you to have comprehensive risk assessment. That's where you start with, right? If you've not done it, think of it. You need to do it as soon as possible. Comprehensive risk assessment to understand where is your organization today and what kind of missing elements you have, including your potential vulnerabilities and threats what you have in your environment. And that's the starting point. Then think about your developing a resilience strategy, cyber resiliency strategy tailored for your organization specific needs and risk profile, continuous monitoring and adaptation, incident response plans, right? So even though if you have, very good resilient plan, but if you don't have a processes in place, can you think of having greatest of technologies there, but you don't really know how you respond to a situation? So where is your incident response posture as of today? What's your communication strategy? How you need to pulling people together to make sure that everything is working up and fine, right? So establishing an incident response plan is very, very vital, even if you have the best of the solution in place. And then, of course, as I said, regularly review and kind of monitor it, right? So To summarize everything what I just mentioned, proactive cyber risk management is continuous journey, right? That requires a lot of vigilance, collaboration, adaptability. And you also need to have your risk management. Cyber risk management is essential for protecting from your cyber threats and vulnerabilities. Very good procedures and protocols to responsiveness from incident response perspective to kind of come back from the breaches. And robust strategies fostering a culture of security. That's from an awareness point of view. Now, how you can take the benefit of ZENfra? What are the key benefits? You can definitely take proactive identification because we see it's a data platform for you to take that's all sort of proactive measures and to mitigate your cyber risk, right? And you can bring up best of the resilience features with the insightful information what you have, because our AI ML platform will enable you to do that, right? And then with all these, you can definitely gain the credibility in front of your customers, partners, and stakeholders, because everything starts with a proactive approach to cybersecurity. Okay, this is what I want to talk about the last announcement, right? We have come up something called Success 360, right? This can be consumed at a different license model. And with all these information, what I have shared, we would like to have you either reach out to us. I have the contact information coming in the next slide. All at the same time, we will also have our sales community reaching out to you to understand where you are today, how you are going to look at from your landscape of cybersecurity initiative. We can help you and support you making those strategies through the best of the features. So think as if it's not an out-of-box solution. Of course, there are a lot of out-of-box solutions which you can get it out of ZENpack from ZENfra Solutions. But if you really have a particular need or a particular report, a particular strategy you have in your place, as I said, it's a data lake. You can bring in the best of the dashboard. You may have maybe another 4 or 5 tools which is running in your environment, something which really needs something to complement what you don't have right now. Rather than investing on various other tools, you can build those tools within this ZENfra itself. So it becomes your own tool in front of your customer. So Success 360, if it is one package, you can have vulnerability assessment as one package. You can have discovery and assessment as a package, because you have all the data sitting there. All that you need to do, if you think of the old Visual Basic, if you're from those days, you can click and drag and drop the menus. You can create your dashboards. You can make an amazing dashboard for your leadership consumption. That's how you can bring in value proposition from the customer, rather than traditional out-of-box rigid solution which is available in the market. Becomes your tool, right? And it can be consumed at an individual user level. Say, for example, if I'm a cybersecurity auditor or a freelancer for that matter, can I get a copy rather than buying the entire ZENfra as a product? Can I get a copy of a Success 360 as a license package? Boom, here you go. So you take this package, it's web-based, you can inject all your logs, right? If you really want to look at from an on-premise and install, then it's more of an enterprise solution, right? But if you really want to use it at a user level, take a license for this, use it at an individual level, experience it, and inject the logs what you want to take it. And with using our AI ML policy configurations, you can create your dashboards. You give a value proposition to your customer, right? So that's exactly what I want to give it to you as a giveaway from this. Definitely, if you're interested, you can reach out to us. We can have our sales reps connect with you to understand your requirement, make it more customizable Success 360 solutions for you. That includes your cloud economics as well. If you think that you have a customer who really spending a lot of money in the cloud and cloud wastage is there, so we have a FinOps module. A FinOps package is available for you to look in and help the customer to switch from maybe multi-cloud, from maybe GCP to Azure, or Azure to on-premises to cloud. You can think of all these solutions you can do. So it gives you a holistic view of what's happening, including your asset inventory, your security vulnerability assessment, resiliency, and it also helps you to do insightful information for your migration strategies. So with that, I probably wanted to open up for any questions. Skip, if you have any add-on thoughts here to share before we start off with the questions and comments from the audience here.
Yeah, just that, we would love to engage with you and your teams or your customers to see how the ZENfra security and cyber resiliency strategy can be helpful to you, as well as where you might be willing to take a look at the Success 360. That is a really powerful package that gives a whole lot of insight very quickly into an organization.
Thank you,
With
Skip.
that, I'd like to open it up for questions.
And if you have any question, you can even put it on the chat window so we can have our moderator read out that question for us, and then we can answer it as well. Or we welcome you to unmute yourself. And if you have any questions, if you need any guidance, support from us, please feel free to ask. And if you want to make a note of this, these are our contacts. You can reach out to us if you have any questions. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Send it to the email, or if you want to pick up the phone and speak to us, there is a number. You can reach out to us. And if you have any questions after this webinar as well, you can, Fred, if you can just post our LinkedIn profile here in the chat window. So if you feel like chatting with us, if you want to learn more about from a cybersecurity perspective, feel free to reach out to us. We also have a ZENfra LinkedIn page. You can, Fred, if you can post that link as well. So if you really want to follow for all the upcoming webinars, because we do series of these sort of webinars every week, sometimes 2 webinars in a week. So every week you can learn something new, some new reports, what is available in the market, what are different threats, what you have. Or if you really have any suggestions or feedbacks about a particular area where you want to have a webinar, we would love to have those webinar series aligned so that you can take best out of it. So my friend Fred is sharing all the LinkedIn, so you can follow us there. And we also have a ZENfra LinkedIn page as well if you really want to follow that for all of your future webinars, because we post those details there as well. Rest assured, we will share these slides with you so it can be useful for you as well. Some of the data points what I've shared, and if you're really thinking of strategizing yourself according to what Gartner says, what is the new trends, right? Some of the inputs from a cyber attack perspective, you can have conversation with your team, with your leadership, and take those right decisions to make sure that your environment or your customers' data is secure. And if you really want to have a product demo, please feel to reach out to us. We can do a walkthrough of the product. And if you have a specific requirement, we can build that ZENpack for you. Probably you can call it as some other name other than Customer 360 or Success 360 and make it as your own package. If you want to try out something of that sort, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to do a demo for this product.
So since we haven't had any questions, I will we'll give you back some time in your day. You've got 20 minutes back. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your attention, and we look forward to engaging with you further to see how we can help.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone. So with that, we probably would like to end this, but feel free to reach out to us. I see some of you are staying back, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Have a nice day, nice evening if you are in different parts of the world. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Wish everyone a great week. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.